Hey boys and girls, Scipio2 here. Thanks again for watching and tuning in. I don't do a whole lot of knife reviews and show and tells and this kind of thing. That's not because I don't like knives, don't carry knives or anything, as it may be, but every once in a while I pop off a knife that I'm looking at or carrying or using or whatever. And I've been carrying this pair of knives here now for few months, probably 3 or 4 months, and I'm pretty happy with them. I really like where they're at as far as the mindset and the application and so forth. I'm definitely good with that. Neither of these knives are particularly all that utilitarian or everyday type knives. This is not something you want to be cutting open boxes at work and slicing open mail or whatever, but when it when it comes to your life, liberty, freedom, well-being, you or them, that type of scenario, these two knives definitely fall into a useful tool in that category. What I've got here is a pair of K-bar TDIs. This one in particular is the TDI Law Enforcement, and this is the TDI LDK, which is the last ditch knife. I'll start with the little smaller one. Basically, when you get it in its package, this is what it comes with. The Kydex polymer scabbard that's formed and assembled together. It's like adhesive. There's no rivets or anything in it along that nature. And then it comes with this bundle of paracord, which is about 3 foot long, I guess. And you can set it up however you want. And I just laced it up, as you see, through here. Went in here and here. Came out here. Went down and around to there. Came down. Went out here. Was going to try double feeding through here, to be honest, but I just couldn't do it. I actually frayed up the end fighting with it, trying to get it through, but I was like, to hell with it. And the reason I did that, I wanted to take a little extra out of it, was so that it wouldn't hang so low. I didn't want it to be a choker per se up against my neck, like a dog collar or something, but I didn't want it hanging down near my navel either. So instead of tying a knot like here and having all this extra floppy, even though I could have cut it off, but then that would have been wasteful, whatever, because who knows, could find myself in a situation where the paracord may come in handy, right? So think ahead. So I wanted to keep the knot relatively short and close to the end without it hanging down to, like I said, my belly button or whatever. But anyway, typically I'll wear this around my neck, obviously, let it hang down. It hovers right around my sternum. And basically, this is your last ditch effort when everything else has failed and everything is basically going completely tits up. Just a little daggy dart. And that's all it is. It's very small, but it's insanely sharp. And this would be ideal for, like I said, you're in the mix, you are being subdued, and you have no choice but to start poking. If you can reach your chest and snatch this out from under your shirt or whatever, or maybe your shirt's been torn off in the struggle. I don't know if you got teeny tiny fingers, maybe you could even pokey a finger into that or something, but I'm not even about that. It's got the ribs on the top that roll around this bend in it. You can probably see that right there. And then this large opening and the small opening. And then it just kind of tucks into your hand like so. Thumb supports it on the top, and just gouge, and hope you inflict enough damage that the would-be attacker decides to give up the fight, or maybe can no longer fight. But fortunately, I've not had to apply this in the real world, so don't come at me with, well, how's it work in reality? Is it going to penetrate deep enough to cause enough damage? Or, how many times can you jab somebody in the skull before you have to sharpen it or anything? I don't know. Again, last ditch effort, TDI, that's kind of their thing. And that's exactly why I bought them. But that's my take on it and what I have to say about it. I can't tell you how well it cuts open mail or boxes. I don't use them for that. These knives basically stay in their sheaths around the clock. But very inexpensive. This can usually be had for 15, 16, 17 bucks. So worth its weight. This is, like I said, the Ka-Bar TDI Lawman. This is actually one of the newer ones. The older ones had a different sheath system, which I didn't care for, and in all honesty, is the reason why I did not ever buy one sooner. There are several companies who now make aftermarket sheaths for them that are far nicer than even this one, which is actually a Ka-Bar sheath. As you see, it's got its logo on there. This sheath has been available for a couple years, but it was a aftermarket accessory. So you would buy the knife with the sorry sheath that it came with, and then you would have to buy this belt clip, not clasp, but belt clip sheath separately. But now they're including it with the knife. So I like that, and I ran upon it on sale. I find these knives on sale pretty regularly. They're not like crazy expensive, 60, 70, 80 bucks, depending on which model. There's, I guess, like 5 or 6 of them, I think. You can get them in black or brown or flat dark earth, whatever. You can get them with straight blade, serrated blade, a slightly longer blade. This is the standard one. But they make one, I think it's an inch or an inch and a quarter longer. And they make it with a Tonto, and then, like I said, straight or serrated. But anyway, again, this knife is of the same ilk as the smaller one. You would wear this opposite of your sidearm in the event you are in a physical confrontation. You are unable to pull your firearm. Maybe your firearm has been lost in the struggle. Maybe the person is trying to take your firearm. Maybe you're literally fighting to maintain retention of your firearm, which was my mindset. If that should arise, what is the best way to force the issue that they release the firearm and relinquish control of it to me? And this plays perfect into that. Generally, I carry my sidearm appendix or to my right in the 3 to 5 o'clock position, depending on the holster and the gun and so forth. So this normally sits on my left side appendix, or say 2 o'clock area maybe of my waist, and it would clip in like so. And in the event I'm having to use my primary hand to fight for control of my firearm, I could use what would be my support hand to simply reach down, grasp, and draw, and effectively slash, poke, or stab the aggressor's arms, body, torso if need be, whatever, hopefully forcing the issue that they release and relinquish control. Anyway, that's the mindset behind it. That's the idea behind it. It is an up close and personal deal. Again, this knife doesn't come out of the sheath for slicing boxes, opening mail, or cutting twine day to day, whatever the situation may be. It basically stays in its sheath. The blade is very sharp from the factory. I like that. There's the spine of it. The blade runs the full length, full tang. Zytel grip panels. There's a couple companies who make replacement panels that you can actually swap out with different textures and so forth. Not to toot my own horn, but I've gotten pretty crafty with the stippling. So I'm thinking about maybe stippling this with a mild stipple. I did one for another guy, and he's been cussing my name ever since because it's too aggressive a pattern. He doesn't like the way it now rubs on his abdomen and so forth. So bear that in mind if you've got one of these or thinking about that or whatever. But anyway, this is the TDI Lawman and TDI Last Ditch. They are made in Taiwan. That's a little unfortunate. I don't know if I mentioned that about this one, but the whole TDI line are now made in Taiwan, designed in the U.S., blah, 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 but they are made in Taiwan. And I don't know. That's really all I got to say about them. Again, I haven't had to use them, thank God, knock on wood, what have you. But again, mindset preparation is the key, and more often than not can make the difference in a fight for your life. And that's a fight that nobody wants to lose. All right, anyway, if you're in the market for something along these lines, or maybe if you haven't even thought about it and now you're thinking to yourself, damn, that's a thought right there, I need to think about that, you really can do a whole lot worse than these two items right here. I've got less than $100. Hell, I've probably got less than $75 between the two of them combined. So, you know, definitely a worthwhile investment in my opinion. But anyway, one last time, K-Bar, TDI series knives. Check them out. Shop around. As always, Google is your friend. Let that Google foo do your work for you. And if you have any questions that I might be able to answer, again, like I said, I'm not a knife connoisseur or expert by no stretch of the imagination, but if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to ask. If I don't have the answer for you, I'll do my best to dig it up for you. And, you know, I could always just lie to you, make it up so I sound cool, maybe beat my own chest, right? All right, whatever. Again, it's late, and it's been a day, so I'm getting out of here. You guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Keep your heads on swivels out there, folks. Things are a little crazy right now. God bless, and thanks again for watching.